We've had lots of people checking in, and we're going to continue that here in our final moments of the show today. Kayte Christensen is now joining us. And Kayte, we've been asking everybody what Kobe means to them. So what does Kobe Bryant mean to you?
Well, good morning, you guys. I think it's kind of hard to put into words because I think as your life changes, events like this, tragedies like this, you have a different perspective. I wasn't a Lakers fan. I wasn't, a fan of that organization, obviously, because of my connection with Sacramento and the rivalry. But as a player, as an athlete, I had the utmost respect for what he was, the type of player he was. He was a superstar in every sense of the word. So, that is one thing. But yesterday, when I heard the news, I think the hardest thing for me to grapple with was the loss of a father for his daughters and the loss of one of his daughters. And so, to be honest, I was more impressed with what Kobe kind of was post-basketball. And the support that he gave women's basketball. He came to games. He coached his daughter. He was an active participant in advancing the game and showing that the women that play this game are just as talented and need the same type of support as NBA players. And so for me, kind of reflecting yesterday, I was more impressed with the father that he was to his daughters and how he really helped promote and advance the women's game. And so that was kind of where my reflections were yesterday. And just, there was 9 lives lost yesterday. And we're talking about 2 of them, but, my heartfelt condolences go out to everyone involved in this. It was just a really terribly tragic accident. So I don't know, it was a very emotional day for me yesterday, surprisingly so.
Kayte, you kind of stole a thunder. I was going to ask you, and we've talked about this all morning, so it's not just because we have a lady on the program right now, but we've spoken a lot about how maybe the biggest thing we were robbed of with the early passing of Kobe was his commitment to women's basketball through his daughter, and we kind of fantasized on where he might have gone. Could Kobe have coached in the WNBA someday? I could see it. Could he be a WNBA commissioner someday? I could see it. But maybe more than anything, he seemed like one of those bridges. You see this a lot with NBA players. Maybe Kobe most of all. They are viciously supportive and defensive of the WNBA and women's basketball in general. And more than anyone, the stigma on women's basketball and it's the girls playing. And guys like Kobe, more than anyone maybe, would turn and say, hey, we play the game. We've played the game at a high level, couch potato guy, and it does mean something, and we do want to grow it. And countless amounts of macho, dum-dum males were probably turned because of guys like Kobe. So that in itself, I think, is maybe the biggest loss with Kobe.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because I've always said that game recognizes game.
Yeah.
And overall, NBA players are extraordinarily supportive of the women and the league because they understand that it doesn't matter. Gender, it's not relevant. It's if you can play, you can play. And I think that, like you think of Diana Taurasi, who was a teammate of mine in Phoenix for years, and they call her the White Mamba, and she had a great relationship with Kobe. And a lot of that comes from these players actually interacting with each other during the Olympics and being around each other during that time and supporting each other. And so, when you think of kind of what he could have been, I think that that's something that's really interesting because when you look at what Kobe Bryant was and you're saying, like, what could he have been? That just is kind of a testament to kind of the figure that he was. He was a larger-than-life figure in basketball, and I think that when he retired, everyone knew that he wasn't finished, that there was so much more to come from him. And so that is kind of really interesting component of this, sudden and tragic loss, is that despite everything that he accomplished, everyone was ready and knew that he was capable of so much more.
Well, Kayte, we're short on time. We do appreciate your reflections. We will watch you on the TV tonight. And again, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, Kayte.
All right. You guys have a good morning.
All right, you too.